Hello everybody, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com and thanks for watching us on YouTube. Today, we're talking about packing for a Royal Caribbean cruise, and if you're looking for more Royal Caribbean news, information, tips, and advice, be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Stay tuned after this, our top 10 list for your cruise questions being answered, because we are recording this video live, and afterwards we always answer cruise questions here, so want to make sure you don't miss out on that. But today, we're talking about the top 10 must-pack items for a cruise. This is not the end-all, be-all packing list. Your packing list should include much more than this. But these are the 10 things I think most people going on a cruise, especially family, will probably want to pack in their luggage. I think these are quintessentially important items. I am no Sherry from Cruise Tips TV, so I freely admit I'm not the world's greatest packing expert, but in the grand scheme of my experience, I'm sharing it. So let's go into our top 10 must-pack items. Number 1 is your phone. And I say your phone only because it has one feature that is so important on a cruise, and that's an alarm clock. I mean, yeah, it can do other things too, but they're not nearly as important as the alarm clock feature. When you're on a cruise ship, there's actually no real alarm feature. Certainly you can set wake-up calls, but wake-up calls feel like there's something out of, like, I don't know, 20 years ago. Like, who does that anymore? Alarm clocks. But an alarm clock, why would you pack an alarm clock when you're probably already bringing your phone? So make sure you bring your phone with you, because even if you lock that bad boy down, put it in airplane mode, turn off Wi-Fi, and all that, it's still useful as an alarm clock, and that's really helpful in your stateroom, not only for waking up in the morning, but when you have to remember to do special things, alarm clocks on the beach to when to go back to the ship. These are really important. So phone is my number 1 thing you want to pack on the list. Number 2 is sun protection. I just mentioned the beach. OMG. If you've been on a cruise before, I guarantee you, here's a game to play. After your first port stop, whatever your first port is, look for that guy who comes back to the ship looking like a lobster. Like their skin is like tomato red because they didn't pack, or maybe they didn't apply. That's a different story altogether. Their sunscreen. Pack sunscreen, people. You want to do that. You'll have a better options, obviously buying it before the cruise. And it's a must-do item. Whether you're going in December or July, you need to pack it. You need to use it. That's totally true. Susan says that would be me. There's always somebody, and it's Susan. Susan in our chat wrote that would be her. The person with the totally sunburned on the first day. Look, at least you own up to it, Susan. I love it. Number 3. This is gonna be helpful if you were someone like Susan, or other things can happen. A first aid kit. Look, buying medicine on board your ship can be very expensive. And while you can get pretty much everything you're probably going to need on board your ship or in a port you're visiting, don't risk that. Bring a first aid kit. It does not need to be like the equivalent of like we EMTs carry. It needs to be something that has the basics, right? Aspirin, ibuprofen, maybe some anti-sunburn medication, some basic stuff. Pepto-Bismol. You want to have the basics to cover, the oops, I don't feel so good kind of days. And that's really important. So a first aid kit can be really helpful. You can actually buy pre-made first aid kits online, or probably from a number of stores as well, in brick and mortar situations. Whatever floats your boat, but be prepared for it, because the last thing you want to be doing is sitting in your bed agonizing and be like, oh god, I don't have anything. Now I gotta go either go downstairs to go get something, or and pay arm and a leg for it, or sit here and suffer. You don't want to be in that situation. So definitely a good thing to pack. Next on our packing list are beverages. Yes, believe it or not, on Royal Caribbean, I can't speak for all cruise lines, but Royal Caribbean does allow you to pack some beverages with you. We're talking about 2 basic categories of beverages you are allowed legally to bring on your Royal Caribbean cruise. First of all, up to 2 bottles of wine per stateroom. Yes, wine you can bring on your Royal Caribbean cruise. It needs to be in your carry-on luggage, and it's up to 2 bottles per stateroom, not per person, on the first day of your cruise only. When you get there, bring it. It's a great way to save money. Bring your favorite kind of wines you like. It's wonderful. The other thing you're allowed to bring, and you should bring if you want to save some money as well, are non-alcoholic beverages. Just like your wine, Royal Caribbean allows you to bring up to 12 bottles, cans, whatever, of non-alcoholic beverages in your carry-on luggage as well on embarkation day. And again, that is per stateroom, not per person. By bringing your own wine and or your own non-alcoholic beverages, you're going to be saving yourself a lot of money. These are great strategies also to avoid having to buy a drink package and otherwise really bring down that bar bill once on the cruise. So definitely something to consider when you're packing there. Don't overlook those. Next up, earplugs. Look, what I'm not going to say why you need earplugs for. Perhaps the reason is sitting next to you right now. No judgments, but earplugs are always a good idea. You never know, especially if it's somewhere you've never been before. Bring your earplugs for sleeping. I always carry a pack in my carry-on luggage. I probably use it maybe 1 out of like 5 times maybe, but it's good to have it there just in case. Really helpful. So that's a big one right there. My next one is someone that I've now forced myself to pack every time we go on a cruise, and that are sunglasses. Look, whether you wear sunglasses a lot at home or not, you need them in the Caribbean. And a lot of places you're visiting, going to Europe, you're going to need sunglasses, even Alaska, because the reflections, man, it's real. Bring sunglasses with you. You don't want to be that person. I've been that family who gets off in a port and goes immediately to the first tourist trap convenience store to look for a pair of sunglasses because we forgot ours at home. Don't be those people. Pack your own sunglasses. Really important. Another one I really want to highlight is something that I think you should be bringing. I think everybody knows about this, but it's where to pack it. Important travel documents in your carry-on luggage. You got to keep it not only with you, but don't just put it in your main luggage. Keep it with you on embarkation day. A lot of times when you get to the port, what you're going to end up doing is giving the porters a lot of your luggage. But you need to have with you your state-issued ID, your passports, your birth certificates, anything else, your cruise documents. All those things are important to have with you at all times, especially on embarkation day. So don't put it in the luggage you're giving to your porters. Keep it on you. So make sure you have it with you at all stages. That way you don't lose track of it. You have easily available, and of course you don't want to have that moment where you realize, oh no, my passport's in the bag, and then it becomes a real problem later on. So there's an important one. My next one is this isn't something that applies to me, but I've seen enough people and my wife to know this is a must-pack item, and that is a sweater. And you're probably thinking, wait a minute, Matt. We're going to the Caribbean, let's say this summer, right? It's going to be like 95 degrees. Why would I want to pack a sweater? You forget, though, that while it's 95 degrees outside, in the ship, it's a comfortable 70-something degrees in there. And in a lot of public venues, whether it's a theater or a bar or a restaurant, for some people, it can be a little chilly for them. I don't mind it at all, but look, I've cruised with enough people that realize that sometimes it does get a little chilly in there. Pack a sweater, a cardigan, other clothing that I can't think of that keeps you warm, but pack something to keep you warm in the chance that you need it for in a venue of which there's heavy air conditioning. Heck, even tour buses can oftentimes be a little chilly, so it's not a bad idea. Even if you're going in the dead of summer, bring a sweater with you. That way you have it just in case you need it. Next one that I want to also highlight is something it's reflective of this day and age, and that is a travel USB hub. So on Royal Caribbean ships, there's not a whole lot of outlets, electrical outlets for you to use. But rather than try to play the game of unplug and plug in and this and that, you want to keep unplugging and unplugging. It's really a problem. On top of it, you're not allowed to bring surge protectors with you. Or in power ships have been cut down on by Royal Caribbean. They've really been cracking down on the idea of bringing power strips. So your best bet is to bring a travel USB hub. These are USB hubs. These are electrical outlets that you basically plug into the outlet, and instead of having electrical outlets on the way out, it's USB. Because after all, what do we need to charge these days, right? Phones, tablets, other smart devices. They all have USB inputs in there. Your kid's game system does the same thing. So by bringing a travel USB hub, you'll provide yourself plenty of outlets to charge your devices and also be in compliance with Royal Caribbean's rules about what you can and cannot bring. And the last thing that you should pack on your Royal Caribbean cruise, and again, not for personal experience, but if my wife was going to sit here and give her list of top things to pack must pack for your Royal Caribbean cruise, it is a hair dryer. Royal Caribbean does provide hair dryers in the room, so I need to be very, very clear about it. There are hair dryers in the room, but they ain't exactly the strongest, most powerful ones on the whole wide world. Plus, from what I'm told, hair dryers are kind of a big deal to ladies. It's kind of it's not just, they're not interchangeable, right? And you have your favorite one, make sure you bring it with you. You are allowed to bring your hair dryer. You are allowed to bring your hair straightener, aka a flat iron for your hair. Those are fine. You may not bring an iron for clothing. That's totally different. But bring your hair dryer with you, so that way you're ready each evening when you're getting ready to look good for dinner and do all that kind of stuff that ladies do. And I'm always like, oh, how long has it been? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding, but I am kidding. Make sure you bring the right equipment with you. So definitely a hair dryer is a great recommendation. There you go. Those are my top 10 must pack items. I hope Sherry approves of these items here. And of course, I want to hear your must-pack items in our chat right now. And of course, we're also answering your cruise questions right here in our chat room. So I'm going to jump right into it. And let's see here. Elisa says, yes, this is so right. The hair dryers they provide are awful. We're taking probably 4 times as long to use it. Olizo, there you go. Thanks for proving my point. Susan, great list. You're very welcome. Linda wants to know, what can you bring 12 bottles of what? Sorry, you can bring up to 12 bottles of non-alcoholic beverages. That's also 12 bottles or cans, whatever. You know, if you want to bring a can of Coke or a bottle or whatever, they have to be up to 17 ounces in size. Magical Girly, are we allowed to bring bottled water on the cruise? Up to 12 bottles or cans or whatever of bottled water, yes, on embarkation day in your carry-on luggage. All right, Chuck Humphrey's must-pack list is USB hub, hair dryer, water, wine, deck chair towel clips. There's a good one as well. Pam says, we were told by Royal Caribbean we cannot bring our hair dryer. That's incorrect, Pam. I'm sorry they told you that, but you can definitely bring your own hair dryer. You may not bring a clothing iron, but your hair dryer is totally fine. French fries. Does Royal Caribbean do anything for the 4th of July cruises? They do. I've done 4th of July cruises the last 2 years, Harmony and Majesty, and I'm about to do another one on Anthem of the Seas this year, and there's always some celebrations on board, great decorations, special drinks and food served. You know, it's not like crazy, but they definitely do celebrate. Catherine wants to know, are there plans to revamp Labadee just like Perfect Day at Coco Cay? There are, yes! Royal Caribbean has not announced what those plans are, but fear not, Labadee will be getting the Perfect Day makeover sometime soon. More details to follow. Tim Black, I'm a solo traveler. How come there are no deals for you? There are deals for you, sir. You just need to look for them. They're not like apparently obvious all the time because, as you probably are aware, Tim, cruise discounts and promos are really aimed at double occupancy, right? But if you book your cruise well enough in advance, like more than a year or so, you should really find some decent pricing out there. And the key, Tim, is really you're not looking for necessarily specifically solo benefits or solo promos. You're looking for just bottom rate pricing, and that's usually found when you book it far in advance. Andrew, can you bring a handheld steamer? You cannot bring a handheld steamer. No, no, no. Magnets and magnetic hooks are a great idea. Absolutely, Kathy Drew. You might be wondering, why would I want to bring magnets or magnetic hooks? And the reason is to help keep stuff up on the wall and for storage as well. And magnets are great because your walls and your doors are made out of metal, which is obviously magnetized, or can be, whatever the equivalent of magnetized. They work with magnets. There you go. And you can use those, and that's no problem. Just Corblocks, have ever been on Brilliance of the Seas? Yes! I've been on Brilliance like 4 or 5 times. Love it! It's great. Rich, what's your favorite non-Oasis Quantum class ship? Navigator of the Seas. Amy Rogers, do you think if Cuba's opened up for us tourists again, that Royal Caribbean is going to go back cruising there, or will it feel too big of a risk? That's a good question, Amy. I honestly believe that if they reopened it tomorrow, there might be a little hesitation to go back there. I think there'd be a little bit of the, is this for realsies this time? You know, obviously they lost a lot of money in that. Jeff, how long does the cruise ship stay at Coco Cay? Usually they go about 8 to 5-ish, Jeff. It's like plus or minus an hour. When I was there on Navigator back in May, we were there from like 8 or 9 to about 7. But they seem to be doing like that 9 to 5 thing-ish. Again, plus or minus an hour here or there. Keeping in mind that they want to actually stay longer. So, there you go. And Linda Alvarez. Yes, Linda, thank you for reminding me, by the way. So, what we talked about earlier, you cannot bring a clothing iron with you. That's prohibited against the rules. But you can bring like Downy Release, Wrinkle Release, and other sprays that will help with getting rid of wrinkles. So that's a great idea. Does medication have to be in the original bottles? No, not for Royal Caribbean. It's fine. Bring in whatever bottle dispenser you've got over there. Kiki likes using packing cubes. You know what? I have not prescribed. I don't worship at the church of the packing cubes. I know a lot of people do. I have not been one of them yet, but I know a lot of people swear by them. So I'm not poo-pooing them. I just haven't been. I'm not a convertee. I've not seen the lights. Ale Rose. Didn't say that right. Air freshener and pop-up laundry hamper. I agree with the laundry hamper. That's a great idea. It really helps organizing your dirty laundry a whole lot better. Just Corblocks, what's the best thing about Brilliance of the Seas? Price, classic cruising experience, great dining on board as well, and the live music, really, really good. Pam says, my husband read in the rules you cannot bring a hairdryer in the cruise. Pam, I'm telling you, you can bring a hairdryer in the cruise. I'm just telling you. I've been on enough cruises with my wife. You can bring a hairdryer on the cruise. Let's see here. Jodel Zambrano, for a January cruise to the Western Caribbean, summer weight clothes or a little heavier? Summer weight. I mean, you know what? January, look, in the Caribbean, it's still warm. More than likely, it'll be pretty warm. I would bring maybe like a pair or two of jeans and perhaps like a sweater or two, but expect warm weather. So, Queen Lakayan, does the ship app calendar sync with My Cruise Planner website calendars? It does. The new one? Yes, everything you book on there, all your reservations, once you're on the ship, should download there and you'll be able to see it on board. Once you're obviously on board and using the app. So, Rich Nallies recommends bringing a highlighter for the cruise compass. Rich, that is a fantastic idea. Of course, Rich is talking about when you have the cruise compass, which is the daily newspaper you get. There's a lot of great events going on there. It's easy to forget all of them. But if you bring a highlighter with you, you can highlight them and use that to remember. It's a great idea, by the way. Sheila recommends a USB charged personal fan. That's a great way to get around that whole no electrical appliance problem, but still be able to use a fan. I agree 1,000%, Sheila. Great idea. Hello, Lisa Ritchie. Welcome. Also, Robert also recommends the highlighter. Paul Somerville recommends a Tide stick for messy eaters. What are you trying to say? That's definitely me, by the way. My wife says every time we eat in the main dining room when I have spaghetti, it always ends up on my shirt at some point. Penelope, looking at the deck plans for Oasis, I wonder where the new music hall will be located. Penelope, I'm pretty sure it's going to be in Dazzles, but if you go to our blog post at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, I have a cut. It's not the deck plan, but it's a side view deck plan, and it does show you at least what decks it'll be on. How many formula nights on a 14-night cruise, Andrew? There is a formula. I think you're up to 3 on a 14-nighter. I think after 12 nights, you move up to 3. Linda, which specialty dining do you recommend? Linda, which ship are you going on? Full of soul music. The TVs in the cabins have HDMI ports to plug in, like Fire Sticks and such. If they do, there's 2 problems. Number 1, in a lot of cases, the TVs are flush against the wall. It's hard to get access to them. But more importantly, even if you can get access to them, the remote does not support changing inputs. So your only recourse would be to bring like a universal remote with you. My advice is bring an iPad. If you're traveling with a toddler, it's a lot easier to manage. Jeff, is there a formula on Navigator this season, Jeff Robbins? Yes, there is. They call it something different. They call it like wear your best, dress your best, but it's the same basic idea, if that makes sense. Rain, is Coco okay hot in April? It's warm, no question about it. It's definitely going to be pool weather. In general, when we're talking about the Caribbean, it's warm enough to go swimming pretty much throughout the year. Obviously, November through February, there always could be a cold snap that comes through, but it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. Jody recommends bring small bills for tipping drivers and guides. Absolutely. You know what, Jody? As a whatever generation I am, I don't think I'm a millennial. I think I'm a Gen Y, but whatever I am, we don't carry cash. So that's a really good recommendation. Tanita, does the app work on Freedom of the Seas? Great question, Tanita. I'm going to check for you. One of the ways you can check is just download the app. They have a list over there, and we've been updating it on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com as well. But I'm going to give you the listing here as soon as it comes up if it works on Freedom. I don't remember. So that's why I'm going to look it up. But there is an option in here. Hang on. Get details on what ships we support. The answer is no, not yet. Freedom is not supported currently. Valor from Puerto Rico is here. Welcome, Valor. I'm going to Puerto Rico in about a week and a half on Anthem of the Seas, and then back again in December or January. I'm forgetting exactly when, but it's going to be awesome. Jenner says, I love the large ships, but I'm thinking about trying Empress or Her Majesty. I'm worried about being bored or seasick. You should not be worried about seasick. That's just silly. Don't worry about that at all. Being bored, I mean, look, you know that they don't have like zip lines and flow riders and those crazy things on there, right? When you go on Majesty or Empress, it's really about a classic cruising experience. It is about waking up, going to the pool deck, doing trivia, hanging at a bar, maybe going to the casino, and things of that nature, right? As long as you're okay with that, if you're okay with like spending a lot of time by the pool, which I definitely do, taking advantage of that drink package, it's a great idea. But yeah, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles certainly that an Oasis class does. It's not to say you will be bored. I think that's going overboard, no pun intended, in terms of the what it offers. But it is important to understand what it does and does not offer, and to keep your expectations in line. I would say, Jenners, that if you're going to go on those ships, it really does behoove you to go on an itinerary that has a lot of port stops. But I've been on Majesty of the Seas last summer, had a great time. It was definitely a different experience for us, but Susan, can we bring cords if they're not grounded? We'll have 2 scooters. For scooters, it's probably fine, Susan. Obviously, you're charging your scooter there. I think that's totally okay. Poochie Jack, how far ahead do you check in for your cruise? We usually check in about a week or 2 before the sailing. In fact, we just checked in today for our upcoming Anthem of the Sea sailing. It's one of those things like a couple weeks beforehand. At some point, my wife or I remember, oh yeah, we should probably do the check-in, and we do so. Ron wants to know, is there an app on the Celebrity Infinity? I'm not sure. Royal Caribbean doesn't have an app that's eventually going to cover all of Celebrity and Royal Caribbean. They're sister companies. But I don't know if right now Celebrity Infinity is supported. Sheila Brown just said on Majesty. Loved it. Awesome. Is there laser tag on Harmony Seas? There is. Yes, it is complimentary. Barbara going on Mariner of the Seas from Port Canaveral in 4 days. Awesome. CD recommends participating in the Quest game show. Leave the kids in the cabin. Great suggestion there. Janelle, is there a second formal night for the Caribbean 7-night cruise? Yes, you'll have 2 formal nights. First one will be on night 2. The next one will be on like night 5 or 6. Janelle? Graham, can you reserve excursions when you get on the ship, or is it better to do beforehand? It's definitely better or ideal to reserve them beforehand, Graham. The reason being that, by booking it beforehand, you have the wealth and power of the internet to help find the best options for you. And so I recommend doing it that way, because that'll give you an opportunity to look at all possible options and not be hard pressed to make a decision. Plus, you'll have more time later on. You'll have less of a risk, I should say, of excursions selling out. All right, Linda says, which specialty dining do you recommend for Allure of the Seas? Izumi Hibachi, 150 Central Park. Great choices over there. Vlog channel, going to work, just saying hello. Thank you and welcome. Glenn Allen with a $5 super chat. Glenn Allen, thank you for the super chat. Very kind of you to say that. Lawrence, how soon after you book does the Royal Caribbean website offer the key? Good question, Lawrence. There isn't really any set time. You just got to keep checking back. If it'll be available, it'll show up one day magically. But keep in mind, it's probably closer to your sail date. Like if your cruise is like another 6 to 12 months away, you probably have a little more time to go. AdventureCraft, do you know any information on Royal Caribbean cruises that go into Tokyo for the 2020 Olympics? Yes! We did just post recently on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com the information. There's a Spectrum of the Seas is going to be doing that. She's going to be offering a couple of she's doing an overnight in Tokyo for summer 2020. It's going to be, let's see here. Oh, Spectrum will depart on July 25th and August 2nd from Shanghai, China to Tokyo, and Voyager of the Seas will offer itineraries beginning July 26th out of Hong Kong and August 6th from Tokyo, each staying overnight. And also Quantum of the Seas will be sailing from Singapore, and it looks like they may also offer it as well. So those are 3 ships that you would look at for possible options there. Jeff Robbins, on the zip line, do you and your partner get separated? Which zip line, Jeff? And the answer is maybe. I mean, when you say separated, like there's no tandem, if that's what you mean. Zachary Levi just moved to South Florida after graduating college. Congratulations. My family wants me to get a job at Royal Caribbean so they can mooch off me for a 20% discount. Zachary, I would also love to mooch off you for a discount, but good luck with that. Matthias, do you guys need to wear a suit on formal night on Harmony, or will it work with a nice shirt? Yeah, absolutely. No, you don't need to wear a suit. You can wear, as a guy, you can wear just a collared shirt, nice pair of slacks, jeans, totally fine there. So, Danny Policelli, hope I said that right. Going on Freedom in August, first Royal Caribbean cruise, 7th overall. What will be the biggest difference we notice on Royal Caribbean? I don't know. Where are you coming from? But I think you'll notice that the amount, I think in general, Royal Caribbean really makes a name for itself by the quality entertainment offered on board the ship. Activities, things to do, and live performances. Really and truly a nice thing. Danielle, any restrictions on bathing suits? If your grandma approves of it, it's probably okay. Whatever you can wear in public. I don't know. I don't know where this question is going, but if you can wear it to your local beach or something like that, I'm sure it's fine. Go test it out at your local water park. Ayla, are the pools on Mariner freshwater? No, they are saltwater on Mariner of the Seas. I know that for a fact. My daughter always gets a big hang up about it. I'm like, whatever, it's the same thing. Rich, have you ever gone on a Halloween cruise that a lot of people wear costumes? Yeah, I've not been on one, but yes, Rich, a lot of people do wear costumes. There are actually Halloween trick-or-treating events. There's costume contests. Absolutely, bring your costume with you. Yeah, Len, I'm trying to think, like, what's the nicest way to say if you're, maybe I don't know who their grandma is, but Jay, my kids mooch off me with no discounts. By the way, Jay, happy birthday to your, I don't think he's your oldest son, but one of your sons has a birthday today. Are the pools like Coco Cay fresh water? They are, Aloy. Yes. What are the best restaurants on Allure of the Seas? The one you happen to be dining at, JK. I mean, if you're looking for specialty dining, Izumi Hibachi, 150 Central Park, Sabor are my favorites. So, let's hear, just Core Blocks. What are your thoughts for a young cruiser that's going on Royal Caribbean for the first time? You'll have a blast. Have a great time. Research it. Learn as much as you can beforehand, which you're doing right now by being in here. But you're going to have an awesome, awesome time. James, how fun or popular is the escape room on Mariner? It's very fun, James, and it goes very quickly. If you want to do it, I highly recommend booking it before your cruise because reservations really go quickly for that. Bronco Ben, great name. Can parents take toddlers down the Abyss slide on Harmony? I don't think, no, you cannot ride with anybody in your lap. It's one person at a time. There are minimum height restrictions, so if you have a toddler, the answer is probably not. Sports Crazy, are those beauticians and masseuses on board the license by any country at all? That's a good question, Sports Crazy. I don't know. I think there is some sort of, or some level of expertise involved, but I don't know if what their licensing does, Sport Crazy. I don't want to speculate on that. You can always check what the staff wants on board the ship. I don't think I've ever gotten that question before. Reen, best restaurants on Harmony. 150 Central Park, Izumi Hibachi, and Sabor. My favorites. Yes, Danny, you've been on Carnival, Norwegian, MSC. Yeah, I think what I said earlier about the entertainment, the great customer service, the wonderful attention by the crew members, and of course the onboard experience, I think is really what you're going to notice going on Royal Caribbean. Matthias, laser tag on Harmony of the Seas is complimentary, no additional cost for it. Danielle, what's the best time to show up for the shows? I would say at least 15 minutes beforehand. It's just that way you get the best possible seating for it. Joe Johnson is here. Welcome. Jake, who do I speak with at Royal Caribbean on putting St. Kitts on more itineraries? Nobody, Jake. What you could do is after your cruise, put that in your post-cruise survey. Those post-cruise surveys are very important to Royal Caribbean. And if you can put any comments you want on there, that's where I would definitely start with. Sherry, undergrading on a room. I don't know what undergrading is. Is that a typo or is that a thing? No idea. Marilyn Moore is here. Welcome, Marilyn. Paul, going on your first cruise on Symphony in 397 days, learning a lot here. Awesome, Paul. Glad to have you joining us here. Don't forget, check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. There is a ton more waiting for you over there at Royal Caribbean. Oh, upgrading. I'm sorry, Sherry. Upgrading your room. So the only really way there's two ways to upgrade your room, Sherry. One is you call your travel agent, and you're like, hello, remember that room I booked? I want to upgrade it. And you do it that way. That way is the most straightforward way of doing it. It's simple, effective, works every time, assuming there's availability. The other way you can do it is called something called Royal Up, which is the bidding for a stateroom upgrade program, in which Royal Caribbean will at some point possibly email you and say, we would love, oh, hold on, I got a spammer in here, remove, thanks. And wait, can I ban? Open a report, yes, there you go. Hooray, a win for the little guys. I'm sorry about that. So Royal Up is an option where Royal Caribbean will potentially email you and say, hey, potentially, maybe we might have these rooms available for upgrade. If so, how much would you pay for them? And that's how the upgrade process works. It's still kind of vague and weird, and there may not actually be an opportunity to do so. So if you want to upgrade, you definitely want to call your travel agent. It's the only verifiable way to do so. Ayla, is there a health check before boarding? They usually ask you a series of questions to make sure you have not recently been sick. Susan Albee, any rooms on the ships that can accommodate single travelers, like smaller interiors? On some ships, yes, Susan. There are something called solo or studio rooms. There's I would say about half a dozen ships in the Royal Caribbean fleet that offer them. They're very few and far between, so keep that in mind. But yes, they do exist. Can you tip with US dollars on excursions overseas, Andrew? Absolutely, yes. Nobody ever says no to US dollars for tips, no question about it. Linda, for first-time cruises, what stateroom do I recommend? Balcony is a good choice. I mean, money or budget notwithstanding, I would say balcony. Otherwise, the best you can afford. But balcony is always a good choice. No one really ever complains about a balcony room, you know? I assume I can stay with high blood pressure? Yeah, Aloy. You just bring your medication with you just in case. That's always a good idea. Nikkei, any must-dos at Nassau, Bahamas, I got two choices for you. If you wanted a traditional beach day, check out the British Colonial Hilton. You get a day pass over there. Great spot. You get that through a third-party website like resortforaday.com. But if you're looking for something different, not sitting by the beach, in Nassau, I really like the Jetline simulations. They have a Boeing 737 flight simulator that you can do. Again, both excursions are booked on your own, not through Royal Caribbean, but you can get that information. We have reviews of both at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. That was Jetline Simulations and the British Colonial Hilton. Jody says, in Europe or Asia, they may not accept dollars. I think in terms of gratuity, Jody, like I think you're talking about, Jody, like if you go to like a store. But if you're going to give like, hey, tour guide, thanks for a great time, here's $20. I don't think you'll be like, oh, signore, I don't take this money. Please give it back. They'll take it. They'll figure it out later on. But to Jody's point, you may be right, Jody, that if you're going to a store, totally different situation. Jay, thank you for the very kind information there. What's the best excursion in Costa Maya, not ruins, Tanya wants to know. My favorite thing to do in Costa Maya is an all-inclusive called Maya Chan. Love that place. Been going a number of years. It is awesome. Paul, do you ever review the comments after you sign up to see if you miss any good questions? I do try to check the comments here on YouTube all the time. I get notifications when there are new comments, and again, there's a lot of them, so I can't answer them all, Paul. But obviously, that's why we have the message boards. And I hope that if we don't get time to answer your questions or you have more questions, you should always feel free to go over to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com and post them in our message boards. Is the Wi-Fi free on Allure? It is not, Susie Junko. There's a cost to it for everybody. A-Law, best excursion for NASA. We just answered that one. British Colonial Hilton. Jetline Simulations, good choices there. Angela Norton, thank you for the super chat. Very kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She wrote 5.00. Thank you. Appreciate it. Stacy, any must-see things to do in Puerto Rico and St. Martin? Puerto Rico, walk off the ship and just walk around on your own. Old San Juan. It's a beautiful city, easy to get around. St. Martin, go to one of the beaches on the French side. They're beautiful, amazing. Do you have any experiences with the jet ski rentals at Perfect Day at Coqui ML Striker? I have not tried it yet, but I imagine it's like any jet ski anywhere. It's a lot of fun. Are there any, Daniel Lopez wants to know, are there any excursions in St. Martin that would take us to Marigot and Maho cruising with 3 kids? Not necessarily specifically, Daniel, but you know what I do? Get a cab. Walk off the ship, go into the port, grab a cab. There are cabs everywhere in Marigot. There are cabs everywhere in Maho Beach. You'll have no problems grabbing one to go to either of those places. That way you get to go on your own schedule and you're not committed to anything. I think that's a really good way to do it. Zachary says, if I could design a new Royal Caribbean ship, what would it have that current ships don't have? Waffle House. If you don't know what Waffle House is, boy, are you missing out. Take a drive south of the Mason-Dixon line and go check one out right there. Chantra Williams, welcome. Body on Frame, do you recommend any travel agents? Because I'm kind of having a tough time finding a good one. I do. In full disclosure, I'm about to recommend one that is a sponsor of RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, but I used them even before they were a sponsor. I still use them today, but full disclosure, they're a sponsor. And that is MEI Travel. MEI Travel. We do have Body on Frame. If you go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com on our homepage, there's a banner right there and a big form. Use either one of those. They'll contact you. They're great. A-Law, best specialty restaurant on Mariner of the Seas. Jamie's Italian. I really like that quite a bit. So, Michael Tracy, thank you for publishing older cruise compasses. How do you like them sent to you? I'm going on Symphony in August, been on Allure and Oasis. My wife and I love your videos. Awesome. Michael, first of all, thank you so much for the kind words. If you could send them to me via email as a PDF document, like one document, ideally, that's wonderful. Matt at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. MATT at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, Michael, would be awesome. Center up, how many cruises do I take in a year? Last year I did 8. I'm pretty sure I'm going to blow past that this year. I think I might hit double digits this year. I do live in Florida, so it's a little bit easier for you to manage. Poochie says, where's your cat? He really likes to interrupt. I think he's napping. He was interrupting me all earlier today. Zachary, do you think that Jamie's Italian will stay on Royal Caribbean ships if they're closing the locations on land? I hope so. I mean, I honestly don't have any insight into it, but we shall see. Paul, have you ever done any of the classes on board? I've done some of the fitness classes. I've done a couple of spin classes back when I thought I really wanted to do spin classes. They do the job. They do the job. Could I ask for Chinese takeout style food in the same way you ask for Indian curry? Magical girly. My inclination, first of all, you should always ask. Always ask. I know in the Windjammer, they definitely have Asian food as well, whether it's Chinese or Thai or something of that nature. Almost certainly the answer is going to be yes. I would imagine they'd be able to accommodate you magical early, but again, I would always ask. There's nothing, worst thing I can tell you is, I'm sorry, madam, we can't do that for you. Michigan Mom, what are the best Falmouth, Jamaica excursions we already did? Duns River Falls and Ocho Rios. I would say, I've been to Jamaica a lot, and unfortunately I've had very bad experiences with excursions there. The only one I recommend today is the Hilton Rose Hall Day Pass. It's a Hilton resort that has a great beach, water park, pools area. Hilton Rose Hall is what I would recommend. Jeff Robbins, how are you not at 1 million subs already? Jeff, I'll get there eventually, but thank you, sir. It's very, very kind of you to say. Mary Crafts, what's my favorite Royal Caribbean cruise? My honeymoon. I'm legally obliged to tell you it was my honeymoon cruise. What's the best zip line on Western Caribbean? Sherry wants to know. I would probably tell you if you go to Labadee. Labadee is really, really nice. So, awesome. Fighting Noobs Leon Dice. I love the name, by the way. First Royal Caribbean cruise, October 4th. Your information helped me and my wife select a great ship. Dude, I love Mariner. Fighting Noobs. I just went on Mariner 2 weeks ago. Going back on Labor Day. And then again, about 3 weeks later at the end of September. So it's a great ship. You're in good hands over there. Amber wants to know, wondering about purchasing the key. Do you think it's worth it? Amber, I would check out. We did a whole video dedicated to the one question, is the key worth it? It's on our YouTube channel right here. So I give you permission, Amber, to leave my live video. I don't usually give this permission to anybody, but I'm giving you special permission to leave the video, go to my channel, find the video in our planning playlist over there. I think it'll help you quite a bit. The answer is it depends. Janelle, do you think Symphony of the Seas would celebrate July 4th? Absolutely. I went on Harmony for July 4th 2 years ago. There'll definitely be celebrations and things going on for that. No question about it. And Edward, same answer for you about Independence Day. I'm going on Anthem. This will be my third time cruising over July 4th this year. So, Mary, Mariner or Symphony? I mean, Mariner's going to be a heck of a lot cheaper, but Symphony is the largest cruise ship in the world. It's the latest and greatest. I'd pick Symphony, but you're not making a mistake by going on Mariner at all. Have I ever been on Adventure? I have not been on Adventure yet, ML Striker. I've been on her sister ships, but not that yet. All right, guys, I got to run. Thank you so much for joining us here. Really appreciate you checking us out. I think, Glenn, I think you linked to my video. I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Glenn. Glenn Allen with the link right over there to our Is the Key Worth It video. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it, guys. And if you're saying, wait a minute, if you're like, wait a minute, Matt, I need more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun advice, fear not, my friends. There is plenty waiting for you at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Message boards, podcast episodes, heck, new YouTube videos, and a whole lot more waiting for you at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. And don't forget, every Monday, we are live right here on YouTube, talking Royal Caribbean with all of you guys. In fact, 2 weeks from right now, we'll be live on Anthem of the Seas. We'll have more about that in a little bit. So guys, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy, do something fun, and we'll talk again very soon right here on, where are we? YouTube. See you guys.